Hello YouTube and welcome back to Yassi Lap Guides. My name is Sir Foch and today we are taking the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo around Silverstone. So finally back in the Ferrari, my main ACC car as of up until, well, 1.8 let's say. Since the beginning more or less I started driving the sim. Little changes in the format for the Ferrari. We are going to do the first and the second lap about the same, talk about the track, talk about the car on the track, and then I'm gonna show you the setup I'm using, and then we're gonna go for a proper hot lap that will be stitched in magically due to power of editing. But yeah, Silverstone, absolutely iconic racetrack. Doesn't really need an introduction. Track limits, as you can see, can go all the way on the curb. Two wheels need to be on the curb and you're all good. Ferrari on Silverstone, pretty competent car here. One of the faster cars and couldn't be the fastest if the conditions are right. Good mix of corners and the straights aren't that big of an impact. The Ferrari itself, very good in the corners, but struggles on acceleration. In at least, well, 1.8. So generally overtaking very difficult, but lap times pretty good. Defending can also be very tricky in this car, and there's also some setup compromises that you've got to make in order to really extract the best pace out of the car, and also to make it a bit safer, because this is definitely a car that will bite you if you don't set it up correctly over the bumps. But let's talk about braking points. Let's take it a bit slow. We're approaching turn 1 in 5th gear. We're downshifting to 4th, braking a little bit before the 50-meter board on the right. Once again, can use all the exit. Maggots and Beckett's actually at lower speed is harder, but we're in 5th gear. Slight lift for the first part, back on the throttle for a little bit. Downshift to 3rd, a little tap on the brakes for the exit as well. And we are on the first straight and done with the sector 1. For snow, our braking point is gonna be like 5 meters before the curb on the left. We're downshifting to 3rd. Try to clip the apex, can manage the rotation of the car with slight throttle management. For this one, we're braking just a car length before the curb starts on the right. Downshift to 1st, little throttle, short shift to 2nd, and then we can go for this exit. Obviously, this is flat out. And now for cops, we are going on the curb on the left, upshifting to 5th, turning in roughly when the green AstroTurf starts on the right, a little bit after. Can keep the car in 5th. Here we're braking when the curb begins on the left. Short shift to 2nd, can reduce TC for the exit. And for this corner we brake like a car length before the curb starts on the left. Try to line up the car in the middle of the road, as this is not an F1. There's no significant arrow. You can set up a better exit if you go wider, but the downsides will be there as well. Braking a little bit before the board on the left, a bit more than a car length, and here we downshift to 1st. Once again, can go a bit lower on the TC once you have the car sorted out on the exit, and that is more or less the braking references for Silverstone. Let's talk about the setup. Alright, let me show you the setup. So first page, a lot of things are on the minimal values, like toe and camber. Kind of a 1.8 thing, maybe that's gonna change. Caster on maximum. It does give you a little bit more camber on the front while you're turning, but the biggest impact here is on the forced feedback, so if you don't really like the max caster, lowering it is not the end of the world. TC, we're cycling from 9 to 7 to 5 depending on the corners we're in. Mechanical wise, very stiff, both front and rear springs. Rear for high speed stability, front for taking the bumps a little better. Running the max preload once again for stability off throttle, high speed, and some extra exit rotation. Soft roll bars, kind of a Ferrari thing. This is more like a 1.8 thing, and once again a Ferrari thing. Really stiff dampers to not bounce like crazy over all the bumps, and aero-wise, pretty high front ride height to once again absorb the bumps, and also pretty high rear ride height. Definitely does compromise the speed on the straights and acceleration a little bit, but it's better than spinning and bouncing off the curbs and, you know, doing the Ferrari thing. Max swing as well, as you know, the track has a lot of high speed corners. So that is the setup I was using. I'm gonna leave you guys with a hot lap, and I'll see you on the next one.